The rain hammered the city like it had a grudge, turning Manhattan streets into slick black mirrors that reflected the neon buzz of a Friday night nobody wanted to end alone. I swiped right on him, Jordan, because his profile pic screamed trouble in the best way, that half smirk under the brim of a Yankees cap. Eyes crinkled like he knew exactly how to make you laugh until your sides ached. Just looking for fun, his bio lied. Or maybe it didn't. Mine sure as hell did. Alex Rivera. Funny. Graphic designer by day. Ghost by night. Freelance gigs paid the rent on my shoebox in Brooklyn. But they left too much empty space for the what-ifs to creep in. We matched at 10:47 p.m. By 11:15. Messages flew like sparks, quick jabs about bad dates. Shared rants on overpriced coffee. A mutual groan over that one ex who ghosted mid-Netflix binge. His laugh emojis hit different. Warm and unforced. Cutting through the screen like sunlight on fogged glass. "Wanna grab a drink? Or skip the bar and make it interesting?" he typed. Heart pounding. Thumb hovering. I fired back. "Your place or mine? Loser buys pizza." His was a quick train ride away in the East Village. A walk-up with creaky stairs that smelled like fresh paint and faint weed from the neighbor below. Door swung open, and there he was, taller than his pic suggested. 6 feet 1 inch of easy confidence in a faded band tee and jeans that hugged just right. Jordan Hayes, history teacher who could probably recite the Gettysburg Address while making you forget your own name. Broad shoulders from hauling gym equipment for his after-school club. Skin like polished mahogany under the hallway light. And those eyes, deep brown pools that pulled you under without warning. "Hey, stranger." His voice was gravel and honey. Low rumble that vibrated through the floorboards as he leaned in for a bro hug that lingered a beat too long. I caught the scent of him, clean soap mixed with the earthy bite of sandalwood cologne. The kind that sticks to your skin hours later. We cracked open beers from his fridge. Clinking bottles with that awkward electric hum of two guys pretending this was casual. The living room was a time capsule of his life. Mismatched bookshelves groaning under dog-eared paperbacks on civil rights heroes and queer icons. A worn rug that screamed thrift store score. Posters of old jazz clubs peeling at the edges. Rain lashed the windows like impatient fingers, drowning out the distant wail of sirens. We sprawled on the couch, knees brushing accidental on purpose, trading stories that started light but dipped deeper with each swallow. You ever think apps like this are just band-aids? Beth? Tracing the label on my bottle. The cool glass slick against my palm. The room felt smaller, air thick with the yeasty tang of hops and the faint, comforting whiff of microwave popcorn we'd nuked halfway through. He tilted his head, cap tossed aside, curls springing free like they'd been waiting for permission. A sigh escaped him, long, waited. The kind that carries ghosts. All the time. Last guy? We hooked up for months. Fun, right? Until he bailed when I mentioned meeting his friends. Said it was too real. Jordan's laugh was bitter. A short bark that echoed off the brick walls. His fingers drummed the armrest. Knuckles whitening. Betraying the calm he wore like armor. I nodded. Throat tight. My own scar tissue itched under the surface. 2 years back. The architect with the perfect loft and promises that evaporated like morning dew. We'd built sandcastles in bed. Whispered futures over takeout Thai. But when I came out to my conservative family in Jersey, he folded. Too much drama, he'd muttered. Door clicking shut like a final period. Since then? Rinse. Repeat. The loneliness wasn't a scream, it was this dull ache. Like rain seeping through cracks you swear you'd sealed. Our beers emptied, and the space between us shrank. His hand found my thigh, tentative at first. Thumb circling denim in slow, deliberate loops that sent heat coiling low in my gut. Burned. Caught his gaze. It wasn't just hunger there. It was recognition. The raw edge of someone who'd stared down the same mirror and hated the reflection some days. Lips met in a crash, messy, urgent, tasting of IPA and unspoken needs. His stubble scraped my chin like sandpaper on silk, a burn that grounded me as hands roamed. Shirts tugged free in a tangle of limbs and labored breaths. The couch springs groaned under us, protesting the shift from casual to consuming. Rain thundered approval, sheets of it blurring the world outside to gray oblivion. We moved like we'd rehearsed it, his body solid and unyielding against mine, muscles flexing under sweat-slick skin, my nails digging into his back as he whispered my name like a prayer. Alex. You feel, a gasp cut him off, my teeth grazing his neck, drawing a moan that vibrated through his chest into mine. It wasn't just release, it was unraveling. The kind where vulnerability spills out with the sweat, hot and unfiltered. We collapsed in a heap, chest heaving, the air heavy with musk and the sharp tang of exertion. His arm draped over my waist, heavy and anchoring, fingers tracing idle patterns on my hip bone, soft dips that spoke of mornings after, not just nights. Silence stretched, broken only by the patter of rain slowing to a drizzle and our sinking breaths, ragged edges smoothing out. I propped on an elbow, studying him in the dim lamplight, lips swollen, eyes half-lidded but searching mine. That wasn't just fun, was it? My voice cracked, barely above the hum of the city waking below. He swallowed, Adam's apple bobbing, hands stilling on my skin. The room held its breath, the faint tick of a wall clock, the distant honk of a cab, the cool draft sneaking under the window sash carrying hints of wet pavement and distant garbage trucks. Jordan's gaze dropped, then lifted, fierce and unguarded. Fun's easy. This. He gestured vaguely between us, the rumpled cushions, the discarded clothes pooling like shed skins. This is the part where it gets scary. Real. My heart stuttered, a wild thing caged too long. Memories flashed, endless scrolling at 3 a.m., the hollow echo of empty hookups, the way my sketchpad filled with half-drawn faces of men who'd never stayed. Jordan wasn't perfect. His laugh snorted sometimes, and his fridge held more energy drinks than actual food. But in that moment, with dawn creeping pink through the blinds, painting his face in soft strokes, I saw it, not a fix, but a start. Someone who looked at my cracks and didn't flinch. I get scared too, I admitted, voice thick, thumb brushing his jaw. The stubble rasped again. Familiar now. Like home. Last time I let someone in. Erect me. Family stuff. You know? The whole, love the sinner. Hate the sin bullshit from Jersey Catholics. But you're not running yet. A chuckle rumbled from him, low and relieved, easing the knot in my chest. He pulled me closer, forehead to mine, breaths mingling warm and minty from the gum he'd popped earlier. Not planning on it. But if we're doing this, real close, the messy shit, promise me one thing. No ghosts. Just us figuring it out. Dates that aren't just excuses to fuck. Mornings with coffee that's too strong and arguments over who hogs the remote. The sound bubbling up genuine, chasing away the rain's chill. Deal. But I call dibs on the remote during election nights. Your history rants are killer, but I need my true crime docs. We kissed again, slower this time. Exploratory. Like mapping uncharted streets in a city we'd both called home but never truly navigated together. The sun climbed higher, spilling full light across the room, highlighting dust motes dancing lazy in the air and the faint freckles across his nose I'd missed in the dark. Pizza boxes from last night's impulse order sat forgotten on the floor. Cheese congealed but the memory fresh, us feeding each other slices between kisses, sauce smearing lips, laughter spilling freer than the wine we'd cracked open. Hours blurred. We showered together. Water scalding at first, then soothing. Steam fogging the mirror where I traced our initials in the condensation. Juvenile. Yeah. But it felt like claiming space. Dressed in his oversized hoodie that swallowed me whole. Smelling of him. We brewed coffee in chipped mugs. Black and bitter. Steam curling like question marks. Standing at the window. Arms around his waist from behind. I watched the city stir, joggers dodging puddles. Vendors hawking bagels with that yeasty, sesame-scented allure that screamed New York alive. This could be it, he murmured, turning in my hold, hands framing my face. His eyes held no shadows now. Just that steady brown warmth. Not the end of fun. The start of more. I nodded, pulse steady for the first time in years. Yeah. Something real. Right here. The living room stretched before us, books waiting to be read aloud, couch begging for lazy Sundays, walls ready for photos we'd snap on impulse. No grand gestures. Just this, two guys, scarred but standing, choosing each other in the quiet after the storm. The rain had cleared, leaving skies bruised purple but promising blue. And in that space, with his heartbeat sinking to mine, I believed it. Fun had been the hook, this closeness, the line that pulled us under, deeper than we'd dared. Real wasn't perfect. It was pizza stains and snort laughs, fears voiced over dawn coffee, hands held through the what-ifs. And damn if it didn't feel like the truest story I'd ever lived.